Hello and welcome. Today we're making a super easy chicken salad sandwich using canned chicken. By using canned chicken, we can make this pretty much anytime you want. We use some fresh herbs here, but I'll talk about using dried substitutes in a moment. For now, let's look at what we're going to need. For this, we will be needing one 12.5 ounce can of pre-cooked chicken, drained of its water, about a third cup of mayo, and about a half a teaspoon of mustard. For this, just use your favorite. Here are some examples that are good choices. 1/2 a teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon pepper, 1 stalk green onions sliced thin, 1 stalk celery halved and diced, 2 sprigs Italian parsley confetti'ed, 1 heaping teaspoon dried chives, 1 heaping tablespoon crushed or chopped walnuts, and 1/2 to 1 shallot, depending on how your shallot goes, as you'll see. So, sometimes life decides, nope, things will not be going smoothly for you today. But in our case, the problem can be somewhat helpful to show you something. So while cutting my shallot, we discovered it had some not great parts in it, an area of dried layers and some slight browning in color due to the most likely to bruising during its initial packing or somewhere around there. But this is still usable. We just need to trim down the brown or dried parts and about a 1 to 2 millimeters, about 1/8 of an inch past those discolored parts, so you make sure you're not getting any of it inside that you can't see. Just make sure all the parts you use are not discolored and are not dried or look weird. This isn't something you can easily spot while buying it, and it does happen, so try not to get annoyed if it does, just trim it off. This recipe was made to be less sweet than a lot of chicken salads that you'll find, and has a fairly strong amount of flavor, so any breads that you like can be used here, but I find it works really great with a rye bread or a sourdough bread, but any bread that you have a preference for is what you'll want to use here, because that's going to make it the best sandwich for you. And finally, really quickly, before we get to our mixing of our ingredients, let's talk about our herbs for a moment. So most of the herbs we use today are fresh, but sometimes you can't find everything in your local stores, so you can do just what I did here. I couldn't find chives, so I just swapped in some dried versions. All the herbs, except the green onion, you can pretty much substitute 1 heaping teaspoon, and you'll get about the same flavor as what you're going to see me make here. In the case of the green onions, though, it's about 2 heaping teaspoons. You can even substitute dried minced onions for the shallot in a pinch, but you will have to double the blooming time and add a little bit of extra mayo at the end. So the first thing we need to do is mix our mayo, mustard, salt, pepper, and any dried herbs you are using and let them bloom for about 5 to 10 minutes. This will let the dried herbs rehydrate and release their flavor into the mayo. That's the blooming part. By doing this, the flavor is going to be even throughout the mixture. The only thing you'll need to do is add a little bit more mayo for each dried herb or onion you use, since they'll be absorbing some of the liquid from the mayo. We can do that in the last step, so we are good here, just starting with our 1/3 cup of mayo. Now, for the fresh herbs and shallot, I did want to show you how big they are, because it's kind of important on that part, and how big they need to be. So as you can see here, they are cut very much on the small side. This helps the mouthfeel of the sandwich and helps make the crunch from the celery and walnuts more pronounced, which is what we want. We're mostly looking for about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch in size, or about 3 to 6 millimeters. Fresh ingredients like this won't need blooming, because as soon as we start mixing them in, they're going to get slightly bruised and they're going to almost instantly bloom out into that mixture. Thank you all for watching, liking, and sharing the videos. It's helping the channel a lot, and I can't thank you enough for all of your support. And if you enjoyed this video and like to see more videos like it, subscribe for more. And as always, some pictures of our cute and fuzzy cat overlords. We cannot forget that after all. Hey, now we're almost done. Nice. We just need to do a final mix and decide how chunky you want it and how wet you would like it. If you use a larger bowl than I am, and you probably should, you can mix everything in at once. If you have a smaller bowl like mine, you'll probably want to mix them in a few at a time, few ingredients at a time like I'm doing here. These are both really preferential though, so you want to adjust things at this part to make it into your version. For the chunkiness of the chicken salad, the easiest way to decide how big it is going to be is what utensil you use to mix it with. If you like a more pate, non-chunky version, you'd use something harder like a whisk or a flat whisk or a fork, something like that. If you'd like it to be more chunky like I do, a silicone spatula or something like that gives you a little more control over how broken up the chicken pieces are. So that allows you to decide that. Once you have broken up your chicken to your heart's content, you just need to add a little bit of mayo to get that wetness level to where you want it to be. Mine needed a little bit more mayo, so I added a little small squirt and finished mixing it in. So one last thing to finish our sandwich off, construction, and adding these lovely tomato slices I found in the refrigerator. I find that using a layer of chicken salad about as thick as one of the slices of bread seems to be about the best way to do it. It prevents either from overpowering each other in the flavor if you're using stronger flavored breads or if you're using lighter flavored breads. And it makes sure you don't squish any chicken salad out the back of your sandwich while you're chewing on it, so that's always handy. I highly recommend a soft rye bread for this, and if you can find it, it pairs with the chicken salad almost perfectly. The marble rye here also made it look nice, which is bonus points. And with that, we are done, and you have made a really nice and easy chicken salad sandwich. The celery and the walnuts add an occasional crunch, and the herby taste is really nice and evenly mixed if you do it this way, giving you a restaurant-quality chicken salad sandwich with very little effort. Oh yeah, and if you happen to have a pinch of dill, it would actually go good in here, so before I get off on too many tangents, with that, I want to thank you again for watching and helping the channel grow, and I hope you have a great day and a great meal.